Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Cloud Native Coffee Hour at night with no coffee. We are live, and we have a new rig, new setup. Everything is working much better. And tonight is the stream that I've been looking forward to the most. This is the stream where we talk about KubeCon that we leave for in 4 days and is coming up very quickly. You guys excited?
I'm pumped.
Oh yeah. It's been what, a couple years since we've gone.
You know, we used to tear up conferences. That's great.
How many years has it been?
It's 2018.
Well, I think the last one was 2018. But yeah, I mean, it's been fun getting the Google Photo, reminders of like, hey, 4 years ago when we were in New York, and yeah,
that was fun.
Fun times.
That was a fun trip. I like that trip.
New York was good, especially when we got all sweaty walking to Central Park because Ashley really wanted to go like walk 10 miles right before we left or whatever, and we were just like, "Woo! Should have wore shorts." And it was just sweating.
Yeah.
She made us work real hard.
It was so cool. I mean, I'm super glad we got to see all that stuff. And I always remember the last part,
right?
Other than being molested in Times Square. Yeah, clearly. Thank you.
And paying for it too.
Right.
Paying to be molested.
It was great. It was my donation to the city.
So to do a couple early stream checks here. Now, like we said, this is a new rig, new setup. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna quick check out Twitch and make sure that we are legitimately live. Looks
We're live.
Good. And can you guys check the sound?
Yep. I've got it up. Sounds good.
Sounds good. We've got music. Everyone's mic doesn't have fans in the background like last week.
Yep.
Beautiful.
You know, you expect me to know everything. You never tell me anything.
You're a smart guy. I expect a lot.
I've created the Work Center documentation based on last week's learnings. I'll have you know. Also, there's like a 2-second lag. Like, it's an insanely short lag. So whatever water cooling you're doing, the bit rate's high. It's really good. So congratulations to all of us.
Are we also live on YouTube, or are we not doing that?
We are not, because last few times we did that, the quality was awful.
Okay, yeah, I didn't go back to look at last week's, but yeah, I would agree. It was really bad. But so we haven't tried it with new rig. That'll be something.
No, this is first time, and actually I was just setting it up for the first time.
Yeah, cool.
Tonight, so I'm just putting out a couple messages to peeps in the different places. Make sure we. Okay. And feel free to also send something out for your guys' channels if you have any, just to pump our numbers a little bit. New stream, but the more people get out there, the better.
Kita, we share all the same friends. I mean, there's like zero overlap.
If you go to LinkedIn and look at the common connections or whatever, it's just the same people.
The Venn diagram is very tight. Very tight.
That's very true. Okay, so KubeCon coming up. I've gone to 3 KubeCons. 3 KubeCons plus the what was the one that we went to? It was like open source software. OSCON, yeah. I went to OSCON, and that was the OSCON I went to is when they launched the 1.0 of Kubernetes. I know I've told you guys this story a lot, but that was before KubeCon even existed. So in my heart, that was the first KubeCon. But so the topic of this stream, we're gonna go over KubeCon 2021. It's in LA, starting. I think it actually starts on Monday with some alternative events, but the main conference starts on Wednesday.
Right. All the shared community days. So there's a lot of projects that I assume at the conference and virtual as well, but kind of tack on to the conference as a whole, but throw their own. And hello, Chris.
Thank you for joining, Chris. Thank you for joining. He's just helping us boost our numbers right now.
I know.
Oh, he's our mod. Chat mod.
So
Slabs
let me,
there too.
Slabs there too. Perfect. I'm gonna take us
Yeah.
over to the KubeCon website here.
Let's go.
Yeah. So one thing I'll say, for those that are joining DevsOperative, we are taking all of DevsOperative. It's going to be a really good time. So if you are looking to meet us or talk to us, we will be in LA on, probably Tuesday night, but I don't know if there's any events going on, so we'll find that out. So I don't know if you'll meet us then or on Wednesday. You can chase us down. So, KubeCon. Schedule at a glance. Let's take a look at this first, and then we'll kind of work our way in. How about that? Sound good?
Okay.
So yeah, like I said, starts on Monday next week. Monday and Tuesday are both some pre-event programming and some co-located events. So these are things like Red Hat's OpenShift Commons event.
Yeah.
What else is there? It's the only one I've ever gone to.
Yes, and that one was really good. We can definitely say that. There are a bunch, though, I believe, like PrometheusCon, I believe they were doing.
EnvoyCon, PromCon.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, yeah, it's PrometheusCon.
Yep.
Supply chain security
stuff.
con. It turns out you can just DevsOpCon, like, you just make stuff up. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Or they have
EnvoyCon.
More focused type stuff.
They have a Rook thing. That seems good. Oh, with the guy that manages Rook. And he works for Red Hat. Of course he works for Red Hat.
GitLab, GitOpsCon.
Get at me.
Right? Okay, so anyways, KubeSec. That'll be a good one. Operator Day!
Mm-hmm.
So, we are not attending any of these this year. We're not attending any of these this year. We talked about it, and we just decided that we didn't want to... none of them interested us enough, so...
It's just more cost, too.
More cost. So, the first day... So, we're flying out Tuesday in the mid-morning, and we will land in the early afternoon in LA. At which point, I don't know if there's anything Tuesday night. Should we dig into the schedule and see if there's any, opening ceremonies or anything?
I don't think there's any... the official opening ceremonies are Wednesday. I don't know if there's anything smaller.
Well, they have cloudnative.tv does a daily recap at 5:15 in the South Hall lobby.
Check that out.
Cloudnative.tv. Why don't we own that?
That's a really good...
Uh-huh.
Cloud
We need
Native.
to get DevsOp.tv. Nobody take that. We need to get that.
Cloudnative.tv. Oh! It's a Twitch station.
Uh-huh.
Imagine.
Yep.
I was not expecting that. That's awesome. Meet
I think it's
Cloud Native.
pretty new.
Huh.
They may have launched it this year. I can't remember.
We'll have to stop by Cloud Native. Oh, it's at 5:15. That'd be kind of rushing.
Yes.
Still,
So
very cool.
one thing I would like to do if we have time is the registration and vaccine verification, because that goes until 6, I believe. So if we can get that done Tuesday, that would be great.
Badge pickup would be good.
And we're gonna be right next door, essentially, to the convention center. So hopefully we can do that.
Yeah, we can definitely swing by.
Shouldn't take too long. Filled out the Clear app.
So for those of you that don't know, they are holding the conference regardless of COVID, but they are taking a lot of precautions. So they have their own app. It's not their own app. They partnered with a company called Clear, and you have to take a picture of your ID, a picture of your vaccination card, and you have to put in all your information, where you got the vaccine, all that kind of stuff. And then when you get there, you have to do a survey, like you do with a lot of things, to say how you've been feeling and stuff like that.
Yeah, and if you're NAM, they make you pee in a cup.
Hey.
Make it be in a cup. And then on top of that, I think they reduced the number of attendees, and they're going to spread out all the seats, and I think all the meals are going to be like outside or something. So they're taking a lot of precautions. It's not going to feel probably like a normal conference in that way, but you got to do what you got to do. So,
well, and I expect, it's going to feel a little different. I do suspect, but when I go to a conference and I go to the sessions, like, my body feels just exhausted. My brain just feels exhausted by the end of the day. I'm pretty sure I'm still going to feel like that, just without all of the crowd, which I actually hate anyway. So who knows? I'm very open-minded. I'm excited. I think it's going to be good stuff.
Yeah. There's still going to be some after parties. It'll be interesting to see how that looks.
Rooftops.
Yeah. One of them, I believe, the Wednesday night. One of the main ones is like at the LA something museum. So
Okay.
I assume there's a big outside area. Could be cool. Very similar to how we threw the big party at the Graham, several years ago. That's what I'm picturing. Only bigger.
That or the Seattle one, where it was at that comic book awesome.
Yes.
Really sweet.
That was very cool.
Really sweet at the Space Needle.
Are there any list of the after parties?
After parties?
Oh, shit.
Yes. If you go to the bottom of each day, I don't know if there's a filter for it or not, but
Checking. Bottom of each day. All right. I'm on Wednesday.
So
Wednesday.
bottom of Wednesday would be the first one, I think. And then welcome reception and booth crawl. So then Thursday, I believe, is the one that's off.
Offsite.
Yeah, offsite.
The all attendee party.
There you go. Be the one.
Don't miss the
Yeah,
party
so
of the week.
The Grammy Museum at LA Live.
Oh,
Sweet.
cool. That'll be awesome. Which one was it that we were at, like the Space Needle? Was that
Seattle.
2018?
Seattle.
Oh, it was Seattle.
Yeah. That was the last one, I believe, right?
I don't think that's what you're.
I love that one. That was fun.
It was
That
a
was
good
an
one.
awesome after party. Okay, so let's dig in, because we're already 20 minutes into the stream and we've just been gabbing.
Yeah.
That's okay. So let's start on Wednesday here. So Wednesday morning, what are the tracks?
There's this always happens. I mean, there's so many talks. I mean, there's 5, 6 going at a time. I mean, I've already been looking at the schedule and I've probably looked at it for over an hour and I'm like a day and a half in. Like,
Okay,
it's so
let's
hard
first-
to pick.
Let's first talk about the 7:45 in the morning one. Building your brand with CNCF.
Yeah.
I feel like we should go to that.
That would be good.
Somebody's got to go to that.
Somebody's
it's-
got to go. Not McCracken. McCracken's
He
gonna be
likes it.
sleeping.
So that one's it's easy. It's online only. It's at 7:45 in the morning.
Oh, it's online only? How do you know that?
Yeah, click on it,
Oh, online only?
which makes it even more accessible, Makita.
Right.
Also, good news. It's guaranteed all this stuff's recorded. All guaranteed. So
It's true.
don't fret.
Fret. Okay, so we start the day out 9 a.m. Lots of keynotes. Probably gonna be the same old. It's basically gonna be reading a year in review with the CNCF newsletter.
Yeah.
So let's see. Keynote, a different kind of cloud native. And we've hosted conferences before, so we also know this is a chance for the major sponsors to get in front of the crowd.
They do pay for that.
But the major sponsors for an event like this are actually contributing a lot to the community.
Right.
So
Right.
they're actually usually good updates. I'm just going to run through these real quick. A different kind of cloud native. End users, leaders of the cloud native maturity. From one to many, the road to multi-cluster. Also interesting. Okay. CNCF project updates. I like this one. That's going to be one of my faves. APIs, the universe, and everything. They got too creative with the title for that one. CNCF, technical oversight at scale. And then closing remarks. I'm just looking at some of the speakers here. Anybody we know? Not really. Man,
Nope.
Most of these people are new.
Elon couldn't make it this year.
We know however you say your name, Priyanka Sharma,
Yeah.
of course.
Yep, know her. Okay, cool. So after all of those keynotes, we get a coffee break.
Coffee break. Clicking it.
Perfect. And then we have some stuff to choose from here. So let's see. I'm going to read through these, and feel free to stop me, interrupt me, to discuss any of them. How not to start with Kubernetes. Back to the drawing board. Building containers with SBOMs. A software bill of materials.
Yes. Yep.
Interesting. Manage more clusters with less hassle with Argo CD application sets. I know who's going to go to that one.
Looking at.
For those that are watching, for one of our clients, we're implementing Argo right now, but we're implementing it with pretty much every Argo feature available, and we're doing it at a scale that can deploy 200 plus apps using different Helm charts and stuff. So we use application sets and other things. Very fun. Customize with client-side custom resources.
No thanks.
What is the track? What is the track? Customizing and extending Kubernetes is light blue. That's kind of cool. CI/CD is orange. All right, I'm just looking at some of these. Application to app dev is red. Purple is 101. Okay.
What is gray? Dark gray.
Yeah, gray are the maintainer tracks. Right. Yeah. So if you're a contributor, or you're helping out.
Right.
I feel like we went to one of those for what was the not open tracing.
Open
the messaging
API.
one. Open API.
Oh no, events. Open events or something.
Cloud events. There it is.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, that was kind of neat.
That was really good.
And the Helm one, I feel like you went to the Helm one because the Helm guy was there. They were awesome.
No, I went to Draft when that was still around. It was like the Helm chart generator.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think that died.
Yeah.
I like those, but having sat through a few of them, it really is geared towards people who actually are in the code.
Yeah.
Because I remember sitting through the Draft one and the Helm one, and they were literally talking about implementation details of the Go code and whether they wanted to switch to using generics and stuff. Yeah. And I'm just we write Go, we do that stuff, but I go to this conference more to know how's the community working together. I don't know, whatever. Anyways, I don't know if I'd go to those this time.
I feel like it just depends. I mean, small sample size. There's a ton of them.
There are. Cloud Native and Kubernetes Observability Panel, the State of the Union. That could be good. That could be good just because I know that space, the observability space, has gone through a lot of change over the last 4 years. It started out with, I think, the Open Metrics project, which turned into the Open Telemetry project, which then turned into the Open Observability project. And there's just been a lot of I think they started out with just metrics, and they're like, oh well, we should probably include logging and tracing. So then they rebranded and kind of changed everything, and then this observability thing I think brought in another portion. So they whatever, might be interesting to go to.
Yeah.
Case study: improving resilience of applications in telco environments. Kubernetes supply chain security, the software factory. How to improve your Kubernetes experience with service mesh and machine learning operations.
All about service mesh. So yeah, blue is all service mesh. And then I think this is just what drives us nuts sometimes too. When people talk about, oh, I'm going to implement service mesh, and it's like, you really know what you're getting yourself into. Like it's a whole thing. Just that you could specialize in. It's not just a turn that thing on. So anyway, it just drives me nuts when I hear people talk about that.
I would consider going to that, but the fact that they're throwing machine learning in there, I feel like it's just going to be kind of unapplicable to anything I'm currently.
Yeah.
The majority of our clients are just getting into Kubernetes. They're just like, hey, we want to put our apps in Kubernetes. And that's where they're at. I haven't really met any client yet that is talking about service meshes, let alone machine learning. This
is really interesting. If you read it, if you hover over that guy and read it, using machine learning to optimize application performance, private cloud, 50 clusters, 500 compute node. Mm-hmm. It's really interesting. So they're just doing big data crunching to make decisions, and it's pretty sweet. So, but yes, pretty niche. Love it.
Okay, moving on. Some virtual project office hours for Linkerd and Trimmer. A safari of Kubernetes in its natural habitat. Have you ever wondered what life in the data center really looks like after the sun goes down and the people leave?
Oh boy.
Oh, look at that. Prometheus, and watch as the cluster is hunted by a gaggle of red teamers. This guy might be fun to listen to. This talk will be a whimsical introduction into the daily life of Kubernetes and common production deployments, while you listen to some very mediocre impressions of famous naturalists. If there's nothing else that I want to see during that time, I will go to that. Cloud agnostic design for fun and profit. Microservices made easy. Capacity scheduling for elastic resources sharing in Kubernetes.
You might like that one because one of the dudes has that anime guy, little Goku.
King Khan, whatever. I'm not even gonna try. But I'm pretty
You're not
sure
even gonna try his last name, are you?
Wang. I can do that. The Qing, I believe, is pronounced King, right? King.
Excellent.
I don't know. Anyways, cloud native storage, but these are the deep dives. Cloud native storage, though, we do that pretty regularly. I don't know if we are well versed to go to a deep dive though. Roll out the red carpet for production Kubernetes clusters with KubeVip.
KubeVip.
Deploying Kubernetes clusters on bare metal and taking them into production.
Making on-prem clusters as public cloud-like as possible. I mean, I feel like this is like Metal LB talk.
This is what we do.
I don't know. I guess I might click on this one as a possibility. It's all about networking, which is cool. Load balancer functionality for Kubernetes. Interesting. It's a strong possibility.
Oh, dude, how about this one? Disaster recovery of stateful applications in a multi-cluster environment.
Oh, definitely.
Ceph Rook Ceph is in here.
Yep. That's a lock.
I bet you Valero will come up in that one too.
That's a lock.
Then we have lunch. And then
what are we
there's
having
the
for lunch?
It doesn't say.
Damn it.
Grab and go options.
And here's the thing that Sam told us about.
What, movie night?
Yeah, if you want to sign up.
Business
CNCF.
development partnership.
Yeah. We should definitely go to that. You and me, Dan.
Yay!
Is in there, yeah.
I'll have to look up that email.
It's in the description of that one. If you don't have the email. Moving on though.
If you'd
I'm
like to have more attend. What, you're what?
I'm RSVPing right now.
Both of us? Or do I have to do it too?
The forum is no longer accepting responses, so I've already done it.
Whoops. Sorry, Sam. So Sam sent us an email to do that like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I started in my email, but never went back to it. And okay. That's okay.
Next year.
Movie night 101, how to power a video streaming with Kubernetes and WebRTC at Twitter. I don't know that much about streaming, but that does sound kind of interesting.
I'll throw it out there. The WebRTC is what is making this stream possible right now, right? Mm-hmm. I believe that is the technology that Video Ninja is built off of. So, cool, big brain stuff. More on the application side of Cloud Native, but still very cool.
I kind of want to go to that. That sounds really fun. Oh, except they have, look at this. GitOps plus Jenkins CI with declarative everything.
Okay, hang on. Where are we? I was looking through my email to see if I actually...
Right.
Maybe I'll be the one representative. 2:30?
2:30 Pacific.
So wait a minute. There's really nothing at 1:30? Just Crossplane, FluentD, and meet and greet?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, look.
That'll give us a break.
Crossplane.
Yeah.
Yay! I'd love to learn more about it. I'm open. As long... I'm open.
There's a time and there's a place.
You just got to... It's all about priorities. I'm just not doing everything now. Or else my anxiety level will stay at a 10. Can't do it.
Okay, let's see. So GitOps with declarative everything. We're not even through the first day yet, so I'm going to start speeding up. Introduction to code generation in Kubernetes.
Yeah.
Over Rook intro and Ceph deep dive. That one actually we might want to attend.
And it's by Travis. It's the guy. It's the guy that answers every GitHub question ever.
Oh.
He's doing a deep dive?
The Rook project will be introduced to attendees of all levels and experience.
That's really cool.
Rook is an open source cloud native storage operator. Yep, blah, 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 blah. Rook turns storage software into self-managing and self-healing. Yes, it does. A deep dive will be presented for the Ceph storage provider to show how Rook provides stable block, shared file system, and object storage for your production data. The recent features in the 1.7 release will be covered to further illustrate how Rook continues to be enhanced for production environments. That's a good one.
I think we're running 1.6. Maybe I think we're running 1.6, or maybe when Sova was helping, we bumped into the 1.7.2 release, and then we almost intermingled. Yeah.
Oh, shit. God, why does the 2.30 time slot have so many good ones? K8's Netlook. Root causing Kubernetes network problems in an automated way.
Yeah, that one sounds cool.
That sounds fantastic. What kind of CPU is it anyways? Airbnb's journey to heterogeneous clusters. I don't know what that means.
That means running AMD, running ARM64, running whatever,
Oh.
So their nodes are... I think I read it earlier, so I think they might scale, based on events, based on load, and so they just, they get whatever's the best price for whatever they're doing, and it doesn't matter. cool, but
Another good one. Kubernetes exposed 7 of the 9 hidden secrets that will give you pause. Aqua security. That's another good one. I mean, when you work on Kubernetes in a large enterprise, they care, as they should, don't get me wrong, as they should, about security, but they also care about the larger security standards, like the CIS benchmarks and things like that, where they want, every possible vulnerability patched, which they should. They should care about that. It's very interesting because, the more you lock down the platform and the more you install these scanning tools and the more it slows the platform down and it makes it just harder to do things. That's why I have a little bit of salt in my voice, but it's all important. It's all good things. That could be an interesting talk. Rabbit MQ on Kubernetes, a deep dive. And then 2 office hours, and then we're on to 3:30. Okay, I gotta speed up, guys. We have 2 more days to go through. I'm sorry.
We're not going through it all. It's okay. And yeah, I mean, so we've been to a few of these, and they've used Sketch every time. Typically, I have a couple things tagged every time slot, and obviously you can't go to both. But it's nice having a backup. And to McCracken's point, like everything is going to be online after the event. So then, I go back through and like I didn't get to go to that because whatever. Maybe I just got burnt out. I didn't go to either of them. At least I know the ones that I was thinking about going to, and then I can go look at the VOD.
Yeah, then you can kind of screen them. Like I remember doing that 2 years ago, and it was like you knew in 5 minutes if it was going to hit the mark or not, and it was. But you have to take time, and this is why I love the conference. It's dedicated time. I'm prepared for learning. I'm prepared for nothing else. Like that's what I'm focused on doing. And when you get back, you're gonna be, you're gonna be working, or you're gonna be, doing something else. So you have to make more time, and it's like that's time that could have been spent getting our CKS or something, So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, I want to go to this one. It's a secret. Managing your secrets in a GitOps way. Jake and his team at IBM looked at the landscape of GitOps, specifically with Argo CD, and could not find something that fit their needs. This talk will showcase how they were able to build and adopt Argo CD Vault plugin. What's the Argo CD Vault plugin? I'm not going to look it up right now, but I really want to know. So
That sounds good.
100% going to that.
Moving on.
Chris LBC wants to
I clicked it. That's fine. Excellent. Open telemetry, and it's like,
Sorry, I was just reading the chat. Cloud native server-side WebAssembly. Some more deep dives. I am kind of curious about the future of multi-tenancy.
I flagged that one. It sounds interesting.
What you need to know before using local persistent volumes. That seems pretty
That could be a good one. Definitely a good one. Okay, let's see here.
Coffee break.
Open policy agent. Pixie. Man, there's so many tools now. It's overwhelming. Another coffee break. A sponsor thing. What is this? Empower us.
I don't think that's for our gender.
You can't go?
It's for all non-binary people, Sam. We could go. It would just be very insensitive of us.
And allies. It says allies. Does everybody just relax?
Let's chill out. Okay, implementation challenges. From HPC to containers in the academy. What does HPC stand for?
HPC holds the first place because of high resource availability. Chat, what is that? What is HPC?
What is HPC?
Let's circle back.
Okay, moving on. Automated distributed systems testing for Kubernetes controllers. Okay. SIG events, using cloud events to create an operable CI/CD ecosystem.
It's cool.
Container checkpoint, restore at scale for fast pod startup time.
Sam used to be way into that. Oh, gosh.
Container D, introduction and deep dive. Why is anyone using Kubernetes anyways? Observe with Rust, OpenTelemetry, using SLOs for continuous performance optimizations. My container image has 500 vulnerabilities. Now what? From Snick. I met this guy. I met this guy in New York at the New York KubeCon. And he was, handing out business cards, and it was kind of a little bit of a startup at the time, but that really took off. So kudos to him.
Cool.
Storage and networking, Rook on Multus. I've heard of Multus. I just don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Flux. Unraveling the mystery of versioning CRDs. Shifting Spotify engineering from spreadsheets to Backstage. Capitalized. Backstage is now Spotify's single pane of glass. In 2020, Backstage and its software catalog was open sourced and donated to the Cncf. The talk will also walk you through strategies for adopting Backstage. What is Backstage?
Sounds like a playbook application type of thing. Here's where you go to do what,
I've heard of Backstage.
I have to click on this. What is Backstage? It's an open platform for building developer portals. Powered by centralized software catalog, Backstage restores order to your microservices and infrastructure and enables your product teams to ship high-quality code quickly without compromising autonomy. Out of the box, Backstage includes a software catalog for managing all your software, software templates, tech docs. I kind of want to check this out. It's kind of cool. I'm going to leave this up.
I feel like the guys last year, some people did an investigation into a bunch of these tools, and that's what I heard of this Backstage. Which obviously we're nowhere near maturity to do that at a couple of our clients, but very interesting, very powerful.
Excuse me. Micro Kubernetes. Building a multi-cluster environment, service mesh at Airbnb, effortless profiling, Postgres extensions, and then the reception and booth crawl. Followed by us going out to dinner, getting some drinks, and then going back to our Airbnb to do a live stream where we're going to update our audience on what we learned throughout the day. Right?
That's right.
Which will be the cloud native alcohol hour.
We'll have to screen cloud native TV and see what they talk about.
Yep.
CNAH.
Also known as the cloud native coffee hour, because there's no difference to me.
Yeah, right. We'll actually drink coffee that night.
Yeah. Just to mix it up. Did you skip over the game night thing? Did you see that they're doing stuff? Play like Pictionary and stuff. Virtual game night.
Virtual. Even better.
Name that movie. I love doing name that movie trivia virtually. I do. GIF battles.
It's about to go down.
Seems actually pretty fun.
Join us for a remote interactive virtual game night. We can just do it from the hotel room.
Yeah,
we're gonna be in LA
on
but
stream.
Who cares? Let's just sit in our hotel room and play
Pictionary
online with people.
Yep. Maybe. I'm down.
All right, let's see how far we can get here through the schedule. Next day, Ooh, a pancake breakfast. Look at that. 7:30 in the morning. Pancakes.
I like it. I like pancakes.
I like that too. I like pancakes too.
It's not actually pancakes, all right?
Oh, the new stack.
Pancake-8s is what it's called, dude.
Right. But maybe there's going to be pancakes. Can we just hope on that?
Join us at the breakfast table for a short stack with the new stack as we griddle security experts for a more practical take on GitOps and security as code. It's going to be awesome, and yes, there's going to be pancakes. 7:30 a.m. pancakes. We're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Which to our bodies is going to feel like 10:30 a.m. So I'll have already gone through our run and dragged McCracken with me.
I'm not running through Skid Row with you at 4 a.m.
Okay, here we go. Real quick. Keynote, Kubernetes project updates. More of those. Welcome to Cloud Native. We're here to help. Why a cloud native and open hardware alliance makes sense. Creating a human-centered developer experience. And here we go. Dual stack networking in Kubernetes. Building support for your cloud native journey. And closing remarks. All right. Let's see. Let's skim these, each of us, and we'll call out anything that jumps out to us. How about that?
Do it.
Beyond namespaces, virtual clusters are the future of multi-tenancy.
Virtual clusters. That does sound interesting.
What's new in cryo?
Admiral Bash's Island Adventure with Fippy.
What?
Going to that.
Okay.
Where's
yeah.
that?
Yes. And I'm assuming we will get a physical copy.
The book.
Better.
Yes. Yes. I have Fippy right here.
Bring him on.
Fippy was here for this whole stream.
That
Nice.
Fippy's been used.
This Fippy has been around the world. We brought this when me and McCracken went to Europe together. We brought Fippy with us, and it was there for many, many experiences that we shared together in Europe. Together.
Yes, and I can't believe we didn't lose it. That's actually the weird part.
I had to make it as awkward as possible.
There is a harbor maintainer talk at 11:55.
Oh, that could be good. Back at the 10:30 time slot, I see there's insights into. Oops, sorry, no. Fine-grained user authorization for Kubernetes with OPA and LDAP.
Yeah, I got that. Huh.
A safer curl actually sounds kind of interesting. As much as you don't want to use, we'll use Porter and Notary to transform dicey bash scripts into a bundle.
Aren't they all?
Okay.
I might go to that. That sounds super interesting.
Yeah. Notary is one thing that I feel like has been out for a few years that I always thought sounded interesting. The whole like signing images and like making sure everything's actually what you think it is.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Agreed.
That and Harbor allows you to do signing of images and stuff.
Yeah.
As well. I don't know if it uses Notary.
Right. Yeah.
Dude. Argo and Tecton.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm looking at.
Damn, that's gonna be a good one. Okay. What else? Ooh, a book signing for Admiral Bash's
Yeah.
Island Adventure. There you go, Dan. 2:30, a deep dive called The Argo Ecosystem, tailoring your installation through community add-ons.
Yeah, that platform is good. Some of those little, I don't know if I've ever really dealt with the plugins, because like Argo Events, that's not a plugin, that's its own app.
No, that's what they're calling the plugins.
That's a plugin. Okay.
Workflows, CD, rollouts, and events.
Oh, okay. That's what's in here. I'll click that then. That's a strong contender.
Oh, what else? Registries After Dark sounds kind of interesting. Talking about the different container registries in the OCI spec.
Where are you at? 320.
I am at 330. Yeah, 330. Let's see, what else?
I'm looking. It's hard. I didn't look at this day yet.
No, I'm just kind of skimming them, just calling out ones that call out to me personally. I mean, I feel like, our perspective is very mainstream. And when I say mainstream, it's kind of like the foundational elements that can put Kubernetes to work for anyone, basically. It's like, hey, how do you take Kubernetes and make it a viable, like, deployment cloud, personal cloud? So, like, some of these things, like Thanos, they're just so, like, deep and so, like, niche that it's just kind of like, they don't call out to me personally, because my space is kind of that, hey, I'm going to get you up and running with Kubernetes. I'm going to give you persistent storage. I'm going to give you, logging monitoring. I'm going to give you those things. But when you get to Thanos, that's like 4 layers later.
Right. I mean, we work for enterprises like you said, they may be a few years on their journey, but they're still so far behind that, like, none of this was greenfield, and just getting things working is like a major accomplishment.
Yep.
It's true.
430 once got some good stuff. I clicked on Beyond Block Diagrams. I think that for the 330, being able to communicate and teach, that's pretty useful. But 430's got some good stuff too. Testing clusters. It's pretty good. That's a pretty good topic.
530, there's I don't know what light blue is, but it's on K3s. Maybe a case study in experiences with K3s.
How we built a cloud at K3s.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be us.
Right. Still could be.
Wait a minute. Let me see this. What is At Civo, we have spent the past 2 years building an ethical cloud computing company. So is that just ethical as in not using as much energy as they have to, and so K3s, and that makes me more ethical than those running full-blown Kubernetes?
Hundreds of microclusters
is that like
has a steep learning curve.
Is that like saying I'm more ethical because I don't eat meat or something? No offense to anybody that doesn't eat meat. Is this the same idea? Like, hey, I run K3S.
Maybe.
I mean, okay. I run K3S because it's the best tool for the job.
Next year we'll put in.
I'm going to this one. I'm going to this one. Talking to him.
McCracken's tilted already. He's gonna go correct him.
That's funny.
No, actually, keep going. The yellow
You're funny.
One, the light yellow one is going to send McCracken over the edge.
Well, how event-driven auto-scaling?
Yeah.
That one?
I'm a fan.
Kubernetes?
Absolutely. I don't like waste. Waste sucks. So stupid. People that are lazy and build clusters that are mega clusters and pods that are 3 gig of RAM, 4 CPUs for 1 microservice. No, those people are killing the planet. I'm on board. Absolutely. They absolutely are. Mark, I love the internet. You can say whatever you want. It'll never come back to haunt you.
That's funny.
Right.
Well, you know.
All right.
It's a
One
thing.
more day here. We're going to get through this because right after this, I'm going to upload the VOD to YouTube. So
Perfect.
It's going to be a complete VOD. We're doing this.
Let's do it.
All right. Friday.
Skip all the keynotes. Everyone's going to all the keynotes, so you only have one option.
Ooh, another pancake breakfast. Pancakes 2 days in a row, guys.
Yay!
Cool. Okay. Skipping the keynotes. All right. Let's see. Again, let's just skim these.
Yeah.
Cloud native global load balancer for Kubernetes. It's kind of cool. I don't know what that is. K8GB.
Yeah, I saw there was another
K8GB. That's funny.
Yeah, our Russian comrades out there.
I think so.
Dude,
Were
this
you just
sounds
Russian?
kind of like what was that
Mhm.
tool that we came across years ago where they send traffic through different data centers that are closest to people? It's like,
Well, that's doing all the big brain DNS routing stuff with your multi-data
Yeah.
centers and all that.
what was that company?
What are the companies? Yeah, I know we never really deal with them. It was like something silly. There's something short, like 2N or N2 or I don't. Hang on, God, people in the chat are like, oh my gosh, I don't know the biggest content. Just CDNs. Oh, they're CDNs. So CDN companies.
Yeah, I remember
Hang
at
on.
Velocity. We
Yeah.
talked to people.
Cloudflare,
I
Fastly,
believe they were next to Nginx.
Akami,
Booth.
Cashfly, Limelight, Bunny. Well, those are CDNs. You're right.
Whatever.
And there's the
Whatever.
DNS, the big DNS people.
Let's see, what else we got?
Basically, don't do whatever Facebook's doing.
Also, it's always DNS.
What else? Let's see. Migrating GitLab.com to Kubernetes, how multiple clusters saved cost.
Okay. Yep.
What is this? Battlesnake, KubeCon Cup Finals broadcast.
Yeah, that's going on throughout the whole conference. I feel like it's kind of like a coding challenge. I feel like at shout out to Bravo LT. I think when Bravo LT kind of did their little coding challenge,
Mm-hmm.
where it was like, hey, write an algorithm that does the best battle, and there was 2 people that that were smart enough to do it or were bored enough to do it during the conference. I feel like it's that. Dudes that like to code. People that like to code. Excuse me.
Got another edge computing using K3S. Very
Ravenclaw,
cool.
thank you for the
Raspberry
follow.
Pis.
Shout out. Ravenclaw!
Did you turn off your crisp there?
Oh my goodness.
That definitely all came through.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
Click the button so that the cool thing comes up on the screen.
Yes.
In Streamlab.
Did we miss it or?
Oh, I know what's going on. Hold on.
He's doing
I
it.
apologize.
Is it underneath?
Yeah.
I don't hear
There
the
we go.
sound though either.
I do.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Right. I guess I have it muted, so
There it
that's
is.
why I don't have it. Yeah,
Ravenclaw, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it a lot. Thank you.
All right. Continuing on. So after the Battlesnake finals, let's see, what else do we got? Easy notifications for Kubernetes? I am interested in this. This is kind of like what we have going in Discord. So in Discord, we have something called BotCube installed, or CubeBot. What is it, Sam?
I think it's BotCube.
BotCube, and
right.
yeah, it's a pod that runs in the cluster, and it notifies us when anything goes bad, or never stops pestering us when there's something we need to fix and don't.
Uh-huh.
Everything wrong.
Oh, go ahead. do it.
Everything wrong with K8's authentication and how we worked around it. Ain't that the truth?
Non-trivial to integrate with common identity technologies. Very true.
These guys. Oh, I know these guys. I'm glad they have their pictures here. They had a video. I made a big deal about it, and it doesn't look like they're talking about it at all. They had a video that came out through the CNCF newsletters, and it was called Pinniped.
Yep.
Oh, Pinniped. We were going to look at that.
Yeah.
It's still on the list of potential topics, probably 2022 topics. But these guys know what they're talking about, and I really would love to. I'm definitely going to go to this one. They were great in their video.
All right. Almost there, guys. Almost there. Home brewing at Kubernetes Brew Camp. From college to Kubernetes support engineer. Alice Wazko. Pink hair.
Astute observation, my friend. What are they talking about?
It's a journey.
I think it's
It is
her
a journey.
journey from being like an intern right out of college to supporting a Kubernetes cluster.
That's
or being a
cool.
Kubernetes engineer. I love that topic. I'm
too.
looking forward to hiring an intern at some point because it's just coming out of college, you don't even know how software builds necessarily. You know, in most programs, they just tell you to click the play button in Eclipse, let alone how, you know, to get a container and a Helm chart into Kubernetes and start scaling it. Like, but it would be so easy to teach a program like that, and it would just fill in so many empty holes. I don't know. I love it. I can't wait to get into it. Build packs. I want to know more about that. Shit. Beyond printf and TCP dump, debugging Kubernetes networking. You know, this topic would have been super like boring to me back in the day, but now we do this so often that I kind of want to go to this.
Measuring Kate's network performance.
That and profiling in cloud native. We used to do a ton of that when we were app developers. I remember we really got into that. It was super cool. I really, really enjoyed it.
And then 5:15, the Cloud Native TV Daily Recap. Yes, after you guys watch the Cloud Native TV Daily Recap, you can come watch us and hear us ramble on about specific things. Instead of just giving you a recap, we will tell you what it's like to be on the ground, you know?
We're streaming on Friday?
Hell yeah, we're streaming on Friday. We don't go home till Saturday.
We'll do it from the airport.
We'll do it from the airport. We are going to be in the airport. We're taking a red-eye home.
We don't go home till Saturday. You're hilarious.
We don't.
Freaked me out for a minute there. Understood.
The plane doesn't take off until 1 a.m.
Right.
Understood. So really, this is 10:15 p.m. daily recap, baby. You know, it's going to be...
It's a 3-hour difference.
Is it? All right.
Yeah. Only 3 hours.
Only 3 hours. Okay. Which reminds me, I got to see if I can get Diablo 2 remastered for the Switch.
I would love to do that, but I think I'm just going to be super plugged in. There's going to be 6 of us. I think we're going to be going out and about and hanging out. So I don't got no time for video games on this trip.
Oh, perfect. You'll know where to find me then. Right next to the power outlet. And borrowing your batteries.
I totally see that happening. You are the social butterfly of the group.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Okay. I don't see anything else really worth calling out. What do you guys think?
Anybody in chat have anything they want to say? Are they going? Anybody going that we don't know? Come say hi. Find us somewhere.
We've got a bunch of business cards. We'd love to give you one.
Sure. Very good looking business cards too.
We do have very good business cards. Where are our business cards? We're excited about our business cards.
He's hyped.
I am hyped.
No, this is good. This was my first time looking over the schedule. There's some pretty good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good stuff. I will say, very disappointed in this lineup though. There's no Kelsey.
No Kelsey at all?
No Kelsey. I don't know what the deal is.
What about my guy? What's my guy's name?
You know, the guy that I idolize that I don't remember his name.
Uh-huh.
I suck at names. I'm sorry.
Oh, yes, he's there at the OpenShift Commons gathering.
I'm going to be super weird and follow him around.
Uh-huh.
We have a keynote and update from Red Hat's Clayton Coleman on all things hybrid cloud and Kubernetes control plane.
Clayton Coleman.
So we'll see. I'm sure he'll be there.
Beautiful man.
All right.
Can't help it. All right. Well, I think that covers the KubeCon. What were we calling this? KubeCon review?
This is the pre-conference conference. Pre-conference stream.
Conference.
Schedule review according to Twitch.
Schedule review. Yeah, anything else in the chat here? Just hype. Yep. Curse LBC coming, Slab coming. I don't see Nam in the chat. But we are going to have a great time. And yeah, thanks for watching. We will be doing the stream. Like I said, we'll be doing the stream each evening. I don't know what time, so just, look for the notification. We'll probably put the VODs up when we get back as well. So,
for sure.
Okay. Any last words from you two?
Nope.
Have a great week.
Absolutely. Have a great week. Have a good weekend. And everybody get ready for the virtual conference if you're not attending. And we'll be there on the ground. We'll take care of it.
Wonderful. All right, guys. Well, this was the Cloud Native Coffee Hour. And have a wonderful evening.